Today's video is proudly brought to you by Mubi. Head on over to mubi.com/I'mThatRobbie for an exclusive 30-day free trial.
I am the chosen one.
Come quietly.
Your father was a swine.
Come.
If you've been following my Twitter account for the past few weeks, you would have noticed a lot of tweets with the hashtag NW Harry Potter and so forth. And the reason why is because I've been watching the Harry Potter series for the very first time. I've seen these movies here and there before. I've seen 20 minutes of some and 20 minutes of another one, but I'd never really sat down and watched a complete marathon of the entire franchise. Basically, how this video is going to work is I'm going to go through these films movie by movie, discussing what I like, discussing what I don't like, and then at the end of it, I'm going to do a definitive ranking of the entire franchise. So grab some butterbeer because we are about to go in depth in the Harry Potter series. I am that Robbie, and you are watching my definitive ranking of the Harry Potter franchise. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So when I tweeted that I was watching this film, an absurd number of people told me that this was rough and actually kinda bad. To those people, I simply asked this: where the fuck is your heart? Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is so insanely wholesome. Whether it is the magical musical score by John Williams or the beautifully crafted journey of the titular character thanks to Chris Columbus's perfect direction, this movie just works. While it's not the darkest movie in the series, I feel like that perfectly works in its favour. Richard Griffin's interpretation of Vernon Dursley is one of the best parts of the entire series, and from his first lines you can tell exactly that.
Hurry up! Bring my coffee, boy!
For a film that isn't dark, it certainly toys with some horrific ideas, such as the recurring physical and emotional abuse of Harry. That said, the movie is also allowed to laugh at itself, or more specifically Ron, and the audience is totally cool with that. In my eyes, this is the perfect introduction to the wizarding world of Harry Potter, and I have no idea how you can not at least like this movie. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So this movie has a title that is the most porn-like, and you know what? I actually kind of like it. The movie, not the porn title. While it's not significantly worse than its predecessor, it does lack a bit of its wonder. That said, Chamber of Secrets introduces one of my favourite characters in the entire series, an individual by the name of Gilderoy Lockhart. You can lock my heart anytime. Perfectly portrayed by Sir Kenneth Branagh, Lockhart is a fraud who essentially conned his way to wizarding fame. He's a little bitch who constantly runs away from trouble, often leaving students to clean up his mess. He's so funny.
What about my sister?
Well, as to that, most unfortunate. No one regrets more than I.
As all good sequels should do, this movie further explores Harry's destiny, with him coming face to face with Tom Riddle, the man who would eventually become Lord Voldemort. This movie gradually darkens, setting up a third chapter that essentially reinvented the franchise. Last thing about this movie that I just wanted to point out because I was genuinely curious, I knew the Malfoys were bad, but I didn't know they were like super stupid. So at the end of the movie, like Lucius corners Harry and he straight up like Avada Kedavras him, or attempts to. And it just got me thinking, like, what the fuck was he, what was his end goal there? He's in Hogwarts, he's in a school with lots of teachers that would see him or would hear it or something. I don't understand what he was trying to do there. Was he going to kill Harry and dip and then act like, oh, it's all surprised when everyone guesses that he was the guy that fucking killed him? Or would he stay there? Would he stay and be like, oh yeah, I guess Harry, I guess he had a heart attack? I don't understand. I don't get what his end goal was there, but those fucking Malfoys, man. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Now, I can already tell this one's going to get me in some hot water, so I may as well brace for impact. I do not love this movie as much as everybody else. I think it's incredibly well made, but I cannot bring myself to love it. I genuinely adore the creativity here thanks to Alfonso Cuarón's marvellous direction, particularly in the movie's first scene with Harry, the Dursleys, and Aunt Marge. When the latter insults our titular character's deceased parents, Harry loses his temper and wills her to blow up and fly away. I love the attention to detail, as evident by the fact that you can hear Marge's moans. Harry is walking to the bus stop a few scenes later. Additionally, I think the change in tone really works, especially with how the actors are growing at such a rapid pace. The introduction of both Remus Lupin and Sirius Black are fantastic additions to the series, adding to Harry's development as a character. I do, however, find it pretty funny how Hogwarts cannot seem to keep a defense against the dark arts teacher. It blows my mind. This is like the most important position at this school, and they literally cannot find a great teacher. There's always something wrong with them. The third act is really where this film shines. The introduction of the time turners may prove to be a problem for the franchise at a later point, but here they work really well. Once again, Cuarón's attention to detail is what makes this film so brilliant. The syncing up of the sequences earlier in the movie and Harry and Hermione's involvement in them here is just flawless. Like, watch this bit in Hagrid's cottage. The way the scenes line up is incredible.
Are you mad? What was that? Ow! Ow! That hurt.
So, I mean, after talking about all the things I like about this movie, I can't really find anything I don't like, so I guess that means I really do love this movie, in which case that whole hot take bullshit from earlier is no longer relevant.
Harry!
I protest!
Harry, you put your name in a goblet of fire.
Alright, another hot take is coming. I love this movie very much. When I think of Harry Potter and all the things I really adore about this entire universe, I can't help but think of this movie. Starting with a horrific terrorist attack by the Death Eaters, and continuing with some of the coolest aspects of the entire series, specifically the Triwizard Tournament, this movie just works. Plus, everyone's a little older this time around, so whenever the characters complain about something, it's not just kids being whiny.
They get scary when they get older.
Ron, you spoiled everything!
Goblet of Fire also features the first appearance of Ralph Fiennes as Voldemort, and his introduction is genuinely chilling. The entire third act is brilliant beat after brilliant beat, and it concludes with one of the most uncomfortable scenes ever. Spoilers here, so if you want to watch this series and not know anything about what really happens in this film, do not watch the rest of this video. Stop right now, leave, please. Okay, following Harry's encounter with Voldemort and the death of Cedric, Harry and the lifeless corpse of Dedrick. Harry and the lifeless body of Cedric return to the starting line and the crowd erupts. The juxtaposition between the cheers and Harry's woes is the moment the series changed in tone and feel.
That's my son! That's my boy! My boy!
This is a horrific sequence, and it encapsulates just why I love this movie so much. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This film marks the debut of David Yates' interpretation of the wizarding world that, thanks to the 5 fucking Fantastic Beasts movies, will never end. While the filmmaker seems to be on autopilot these days, Order of the Phoenix is bursting with originality. Yates' handling of the biggest book in the series has divided longtime Potterheads, but considering I've never read these books, I didn't really care. This film introduces the Order of the Phoenix, a secret organisation founded by Dumbledore, as well as the worst person to ever exist, Dolores Umbridge. This film is really about something more than just Harry Potter facing off with Voldemort. It's essentially about rebellion, and Yates portrays that message super well. Watching Harry train an army of his own was a lot of fun and definitely shows the audience how great of a leader and teacher Harry can be. We also learn a little bit about Severus Snape in this movie, most importantly that Harry's father, James, was Snape's bully during his time as a student at Hogwarts. This revelation forces Harry to re-examine how he feels about his family, and more specifically, his destiny as the Chosen One.
Your father was a swine.
The climax of the movie is definitely one of the series' best, with Yates's innovative style being super refreshing. Before this movie, I'd felt that the wizarding duels were a little too clean for my liking. In this one, thanks to the gritty, shaky cam style, you genuinely feel the impact of a spell. Watching Dumbledore duel with Voldemort was also a significant highlight of the entire series.
You seem to be laboring under the delusion that I'm going to... What was the phrase? Come quietly.
I certainly have the most to say about this movie, and that leads me to think that it's definitely one of the better ones. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. They did it. They did it. They killed Dumbledore. They just killed him. They just killed Dumbledore. I knew it was going to happen because I've lived on this earth for 20 years. I know the spoilers of Harry Potter, but I did not think. I can't believe they killed Dumbledore. They fucking killed Dumbledore. They killed him. They killed Dumbledore. They boop. I had to watch him die in slow motion, falling down. I had to watch that. Sick. Thank you, David Yates. Thank you. Fuck you.
Avada Kedavra.
In all seriousness, this movie slaps. Character development of Harry, Dumbledore, and Snape is extraordinary, with more secrets spilling out regarding Harry's destiny, Dumbledore's past, and Snape's role in the entire thing. I also noticed how incredibly well paced and organised this movie is. Nothing feels particularly rushed or forced, and every development feels organic. Watching Hogwarts' Great Hall completely tarnished by Bellatrix is one of the most tragic things ever. This is followed by an even sadder bit in which she burns down Hagrid's cottage. Even the bit in which Harry confronts Snape, calling him a coward and asking him to fight back, is unbelievably sad.
Fight back! You coward, fight back!
Upon a rewatch, Dumbledore's please takes on a different meaning, almost as if he's begging Snape to kill him. It's extremely well done, and a lot of that is thanks to Alan Rickman's incredible performance, as well as Yates's fantastic direction. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. So this is the epic conclusion to the series, and gosh darn, the marketing team was right. These two films are indeed epic. The character study that is Deathly Hallows Part 1 is freaking awesome. We see how much Harry's friends mean to him, and this film really showcases just how far he's willing to go to save them, or how far they are willing to go to save Harry. While this film really does build up the tension towards the series finale, the final scene of Deathly Hallows Part 1 is so perfect. Following the heroes' defeat and the tragic death of Dobby, Voldemort discovers the location of Dumbledore's grave and retrieves the Elder Wand. It is in this first part that Harry finally accepts that prophecy. He must kill Voldemort. Now, the second part of this finale is exactly what it needed to be. I find it hard to be critical towards this movie as it's essentially a 2.5 hour battle sequence. This movie wraps up this saga and the childhoods of millions in such an elegant and flawless manner. Every beat is expertly timed and every major revelation hurts in ways you never expected. Every time I had to see a character I loved suffer and die, I was just upset. Not in the way that movies typically upset me, where like I see a character die and I brush it off as like a, oh well, the deaths here feel that much more powerful and necessary. The whole series has been about Harry Potter growing up and defeating the darkness that had cursed him for so many years. As sad as it is to accept and admit, death is a fundamental part of growing up. Some could argue that's what this entire series has been about, accepting death. A bit more about my guy Snape, because holy shit. The The reveal that he was behind everything is quite possibly the most heartbreaking scene in the entire series. When Harry's broom was jinxed in the first film, Snape tries to remove it. When Lupin loses control in the third film, Snape is the first person to respond and protect Harry. When Harry looks for the Sword of Gryffindor in the 7th movie, Snape is the one to help him find it. It is so perfectly thought out and beautifully portrayed. I genuinely think you are not capable of possessing human emotions if you do not weep at this bit right here.
Lily? After all this time? Always.
Snape is quite possibly my favourite character, and this entire scene here just makes me want to go back and rewatch the franchise once again. When Harry finally kills Voldemort, a gigantic weight has been lifted off of the audience's shoulders. Much like Harry, we are free. When Harry, Ron and Hermione stand around the ruins of Hogwarts at the end of this movie, I felt myself overcome with emotion. Harry's story is over. And what an incredible story it was. Now's the moment you've all been waiting for. You've heard me babble about this series for the past 15 minutes, and here it is, my definitive ranking of the Harry Potter franchise. So, I'm cheating a little bit here, but in number 1, I have Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. I consider them one movie, and this is my ranking, so I'm going to put it number 1. In number 2, I have Half-Blood Prince, and so in 3rd place is now Prisoner of Azkaban. In 4th place is Goblet of Fire, followed by Order of the Phoenix. Near the bottom now, we have Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. Now, it's important to note that I do not dislike any of these movies, especially the last 2. I think they're both very good films. I just can't consider them the best the franchise has to offer, unlike, Order of the Phoenix, Goblet of Fire, Prisoner of Azkaban, Half-Blood Prince, and of course, the epic finale, the Deathly Hallows. That's my ranking. That's it. Please don't lose your shit. All in all, I feel confident in saying that I really, really adored this series. I'm delighted to have finally experienced these wonderful movies and the hope and joy that they bring. The Harry Potter series is a true feat of artistic genius, and the longevity of the franchise, which concluded 7 years ago, is further proof of that. While I'm certain we will one day see Harry, Ron and Hermione on the big screen once again, for now, I kind of feel like Harry Potter, the boy who lived, should just rest. Hey, so a few videos ago I told you wonderful guys and girls about an amazing streaming service by the name of Mubi. And today I'd kind of like to tell you guys about them again. Mubi is a curated online streaming service showing exceptional movies from across the globe. Every day they present a new film, and every day they take one away. It's very ruthless, but it's incredibly simple. Whether it is a timeless classic, a thought-provoking documentary, or an acclaimed masterpiece, Mubi always has 30 films streaming at any given time. There's no more endless scrolling, and there's never the exact same thing. Finally, a streaming service that is above all streamlined. If you click the link that's in the description or the link that appears on screen right now, you can try Mubi for free for 30 days. That is mubi.com/IamThatRobbie. If, like myself, you live in Australia or New Zealand, you can check out Leon the Professional, which is streaming on Mubi right now. This film featured Natalie Portman, who at only 13 years old managed to carry an unforgettable performance as the fierce Matilda. A breakout hit upon its release, this action-packed thriller depicts a tenderly moving friendship set against a violent and cruel underworld. If you're in the US, however, I certainly recommend watching A Touch of Sin, which is a part of Mubi's new Behind the Viewfinder series, which essentially pairs great movies by some of today's best international artists with documentaries about those filmmakers. You can stream these films and many more like it by heading over to mubi.com/IamThatRobbie. So I would like to thank everyone for watching this video today. It was a pretty long one as far as my videos are concerned, but hopefully it gave you guys a bit of an idea on how I feel about the Harry Potter series. Hopefully the comments aren't too wild. I would also like to wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas. And I would like to thank you very much for either getting me to 50,000 now, or by the time this video has sort of spread. It's like, I think I'm 1,000 subscribers away from hitting it or something like that, and it's really amazing. And I gotta thank everyone for helping out and sharing the channel around, and I hope going into 2019 we can keep that up. So thank you again for watching. You can check out some of my other videos down below. You can subscribe, which I would very much appreciate, and I will see you guys very, very soon with another video. Yeah, I won't wait until New Year to post something else, so I'll see you soon, and bye-bye.